Hi everybody, it's Annette from the Art of Intuition, and today we're going to talk about quantum jumping. What happens when we do a quantum jump, what facilitates a quantum jump, and what happens along the way when we actually do a quantum jump. Now, when you're in your human consciousness, you don't have the capability to do a quantum jump. And what a quantum jump is when you jump through different, what our human would look at linear time, but you do it in a compressed amount of time. And when you are working from higher consciousness, you do it very consciously. You always want to jump, right? So you're always asking to clear timelines. You're always asking to do a jump into a new vibration, into a new frequency. Like you're always kind of ready for that. So when you start, sometimes we might even know we're ready for that, but we go so far so fast that we sort of compress time a little bit. So for example, if you might have had 2 years to get through so many experiences, you might compress that into 2 months. You might compress it into 2 weeks. It depends on the magnitude of the jump you're going to do. You can sometimes jump 2 years and you might do it in like 3 or 4 months. Now that does mean everything along the way that you were supposed to do, you still have to do. You just don't do it in the elongated time frame you would have had in your human consciousness. Like if you met someone and had a relationship you might have been in for maybe 7 months, you might be done within 2 weeks because you see there's no purpose to continuing it and you fulfill the purpose of what you were supposed to do and you move on to the next thing. If you're jumping through different places, you might have so many places you're supposed to live at before you get to the frequency of where a more permanent place is. So you might go through like 20 places in 8 months and move around quite a bit. So you're going to find everything kind of comes at you at one time. It can be very tiring, but there is an excitement to it because you know you're jumping. You know you're fast forwarding through everything that's not the vibration you're trying to jump to. So if your vibration is here, that vibration is here. In our human consciousness, this might have taken 2 years. All of a sudden you're jumping and you're going to jump up here. And it might take you 2 months to clear everything that's not this vibration and hit all the experiences you had to hit along the way that were sort of programmed into those 2 years. There are certain people you had to interact with. So you'll find when you're quantum jumping, you're going to find yourself in situations you normally would not be in. You're going to meet people you normally would not met unless you did that quantum jump. You would not have, like if you're looking in different places and you're living in different places, you would meet so many more people along the way that you would not have met if you'd stayed in the place you were for a more extended time frame. You're going to find you're just going to be exposing yourself to a lot more people, and in turn you're sharing your energy field with these people. No matter if you meet them for 10 minutes, it doesn't matter, but you'll start to see how many different people you're interacting with that you would not have interacted with if you didn't do the jump. Sometimes when we break through our biggest fears, it almost propels us into a jump, and it can feel overwhelming. We can feel very tired because it's so much coming at us at once that sometimes you just want to kind of wave the red flag and just say, okay, can we be done? Because this is so much work, and it is a lot of work because normally you're not having to do a lot of this stuff. If you're having to look for a new place, if you're having to look for a new car, if you're trying to move around and find someone to help you do a certain project, whatever it is you're jumping through the experiences, jumping through, different jobs, it can feel very exhausting because a lot of your energy is in the movement. And you will know that when you've been in higher consciousness for a long period of time, and when your body sets in higher consciousness for a long period of time, you don't do that much moving. Your days are kind of slow. You putter around quite a bit. You move very fast inside, like your frequency is very fast, but what you do daily is very slow. It's not the human pace you were used to before. So it can take years to kind of get used to it because you can get a lot done, but you do it in a more methodical way. In a sense, everything is kind of what is vibrationally aligned. And that's what your, just Everything is what's aligned in the moment. So it kind of shifts and changes as you go through your day. It's not like the human days. It's not kind of, you can't really plan out what you're going to do. They're not really linear. You kind of just go with what feels like you're supposed to do right now. So when you go through a jump, you're going to be having to usually tax the body a lot more. Like you're moving around more, you're trying to get different things done, you're having to communicate with more people, you're having to see more people, and you're also showing that you can hold your highest no matter how rough it gets. And I have just gone through, I'm actually not quite done yet, but I was going through a big jump, probably one of the biggest I've had. And it is so tiring. It's exhausting. It is exciting to kind of see what's going to be on the other side of it once I get to the other side of it. But there's always a but in there. When you're in the middle of it, you're human. It's like, oh my gosh, can it just stop? Because you almost get not used to going at that pace. And because our humans normally procrastinate and we don't procrastinate, we are constantly see it and we get it done. See it and we get it done. And the only reason I don't get it done when it comes up is if there's something else going on, like there's a drag somewhere else in the field and I can't do it yet. Something else has to take place before it can be done. So when you're in a jump, hold on with everything you have. Actually, just let go of everything. That's probably better. Hold on to your hats and let go of everything, because a jump is going to put you through a lot of situations super quick. And if you're in a normal reality where not a lot happens and all of a sudden everything seems to be happening, look at the similarities in everything that's going on. Everything you're clearing, taking your body also to different locations is activating your body. We have agreements with people. We have agreements with locations. So everywhere during these jumps, everywhere all the time, but especially you can take notice during the jumps of places you wouldn't have been, people you wouldn't have met, because that's kind of why you're jumping. You're doing to fulfill all these contracts. You're just doing it in a shorter period of time. You're not doing it over the long haul, which a human would have done. You're going to end up in the same place, but you're going to end up in the place a lot faster. So that's what the quantum jumping is. You're jumping through experiences, you're jumping through frequencies, and you're asking to do it quicker. Like I said, sometimes you just kind of get catapulted into them because you clear so much and you just kind of always ask for that jump. Let's go, let's clear this stuff out, let's get it done. If you see grasshoppers are kind of a universal sign of a jump. I would see grasshoppers around. Sometimes you see bigger grasshoppers, you're jumping. I saw actually a frog today while I was walking, and it was a dead frog. And I was like, oh, maybe my jump's finally over, because it has been pretty exhausting. You'll find, money can go a lot faster because you're spending money on stuff you normally wouldn't spend money on, trying to just get through the jump and get everything done and get through. You might have a set start of money that you got at the beginning of the jump, and then you kind of use that to kind of propel you through when you are going through your jump. You're going to go through jumps all along the way. Some are going to be bigger than others. Some are going to feel not so bad, but you're jumping a larger, sometimes the time frame. You'll know you're jumping the larger time frames when you take sort of the bigger chances, when you bust through your biggest fears. You're jumping through the biggest jumps, and you'll see all the things that kind of almost cascade after that, of all the stuff you have to do, all the people you have to touch. These jumps can last for, a couple hours, they can last for a couple weeks, they can last for a couple months, depending on how long you're jumping ahead. And there are absolute points of some things you're going to still have to do. You're just not setting in them as long. So if you're in a jump, or you're getting ready to jump, or you think you might want to try a jump, consult with yourself and see when are you going to be able to do your first jump, or just jump again if you've already been quantum jumping. And just remember, when you're still in your human consciousness, humans don't really have the capacity to do it. Basically because they procrastinate, and you cannot procrastinate and even get to a jump or get through a jump. There's no time for that. You just have to, you learn a lot. What could have taken me, maybe 6 months to learn if I was procrastinating in my human experiences, also with a lot of other things that weren't related to the jump, in a sense, weighing me down, anchoring my body into the old reality, might have taken me 6 months to learn. Instead, I had to learn it in 2 weeks because I had to get through to the next part. So, okay, enjoy your jump and keep practicing the art of intuition.